Today's video is sponsored by Heroes of History. All right, guys, welcome back to another glorious Rome 2 siege battle. Today, we've got a 2v2. On the attacking side, we have Arverni teaming up with Tylus, and they have some awesome infantry that are going to be a pain for the defenders. Now, looking at the defending two factions, we've got Saba and the Galatians. Now, one mistake you must never make is to underestimate the Saba camel cataphracts. They are always deadly and they can pack a punch. Now, this battle is a fantastic one. It is a great, maybe one of the greatest comebacks I've ever seen. And I know some of you guys are going to be like, well, you just gave away the battle. We know the team that's losing the whole time is going to come back and win it. I didn't say win, all right? I didn't say win. You can still come back and still lose, okay? So it's a photo finish. It's a great battle, down to the wire, great tactics, great teamwork. Sit back, relax, get your snacks and drinks. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And my final question is, who is going to be the hero of today's battle and secure the victory? There's only one way to find out, but before we jump in, that reminds me of today's sponsor, Heroes of History. Heroes of History is a 4X strategy game that you can play on your mobile device or browser. You will be able to build and evolve your own civilization through combat, research, and strategy. And my favorite part is collecting the heroes. As a big history fan, I love reading about famous historical figures. In Heroes of History, you'll also be able to engage in both competitive and co-op gameplay. But if you're going for more of a chill vibe, you'll also be able to enjoy casual sessions with long-term progression. They have regular live events and updates. For example, the next one coming up is on March 11th to April 28th. There will be a huge in-game event, the Ancient Egypt event. Players will step with Cleopatra into the Valley of Kings to defend the Egyptian timeline. During this event, there will be limited heroes like Tutankhamun and Nefertiti. So join the Ancient Egypt event to face Anubis and get a limited hero, Tutankhamun. The hero will not be available after the event is over. Ever. So of course, to face Anubis, you'll need a lot of resources. Make sure to use my personal link in the description or this QR code to get the Anubis Awakening starter pack. Be sure to use promo code APOLLO. You'll get 10 antimatters, 2,000 XP, 20,000 food, and 5 Duat keys. So a big thank you of Heroes of History for sponsoring today's video. Let's now jump into the battle. So this one's going to start off with a potential sally out. We've got some camel cataphracts by Saba, and we also have a noble horse. This is the general of the Galatians. So we're going to see if they push out and maybe get some early attacks, do some damage. We've seen it before, the camels. They have been, if used correctly, they can be devastating. So, and again, the best way to deal with these camels is to layer up your infantry and use javies. Any unit that has a javy capability, make sure they're standing in the secondary so they could really pelt down the cataphracts. But it looks like they're kind of, I think they're doing a good job here. They are dealing with this appropriately, and that's also, or that evidently it's going to cause the camels to fall back. And I think he's not going to fully fall back. I think what he's hoping is that they just kind of forget about him. It's going to be fun to see these guys in action, though. I know for sure, because in the chaos of a siege battle, you get tunnel vision and you start focusing in on other things. There will be, it doesn't matter how good you are, there will be a time where these camels can move in. It's just a matter of when, and really hoping that you select the right time to go in. Like, don't get antsy, be patient, and wait for the enemy to lose focus and focus on other things. You can even distract them by doing something else major on the other side of the battlefield and then swoop in with the cav. I don't know, like maybe having one cav sally out from the other side just so they focus in on that while you push up your camels. There's a lot of options here, but right now they're going to play the waiting game, and the attackers are going to use their artillery to open up some breaches. All right, so a couple minutes have gone by. Arverni is advancing forward along with Tylus, and they have made 2 breaches in the walls. They also have siege towers that are positioned up on this little plateau, which I assume they're going to use as a protective shield for their archers. that actually could be pretty big, because if you could push these up all the way to the edge and then have your archers here, that would really protect them from defending archer fire and give you a good angle on the infantry holding the breach. But right now we've got Celtic warriors leading the charge. They're going to be the spearhead in this assault. We'll see what he does here. I think he's going to try to lean on the skirmishing capability of the Celtic warriors, or no, he's going to go in. I think Celtics have Javies, if I'm not mistaken. When in doubt, assume a unit as Javies. So Saba sends in the Desert Levy to challenge the Celtic warriors, a fight that they will slowly lose. And now we have Tylus sending in Celtic warriors as well. So same unit, different faction. And now we've got reinforcements. They definitely need these marauders. These are the axemen, the mercenary axemen of Saba that can go toe-to-toe with a lot of infantry. So they're going to charge in. And they are going to clash. And then we've got another unit of Celtic warriors being tossed into the fight. So it's really starting to pick up here. What are they going to do? Well, right now, this is the only fight that is happening. It's all focused, concentrated in one area. Saba is the first to break here. We've got 2 units from Saba breaking. No surprise, the Desert Levy stood no chance. We don't see any archer gameplay. We don't see any cav. Well, I guess we got a little bit of archer play here. We've got the Sabian, Saba, the Sabian, it's Sabian, right? Anyways, they got the archers. Saba has archers, and they are going to try to, I assume, go after the general potentially. Looks like they are firing at this general, but we got Tylus sending up the Oathsworn. I don't think he's actually going to send in this Oathsworn. I think he's just simply going to move him up to use general abilities like rally and, you know, all second wind, whatever it may be. Now we've got some Thracian infantry for Tylus. And the Glacians are sending in some Glacian swords. So this is all coming down to one little choke point. And who's going to win this fight? Well, it's whoever can manage their infantry better. It's whoever can cycle charge better. It's whoever can support their infantry with archers or cav. So it's all going to come down to that. But we'll see what happens. And now we've got a unit flanking here. Check this out. We've got Celtic warriors here getting pelted right now by the towers and the archers of Saba. I think they were coming over to burn down this gate. I could be mistaken. Or they're trying to burn down the tower. Let's see. The tower most likely is the case. Yep, there it is. And they can throw their torches through the walls. Truly amazing. But the archers can fire through the walls, so all is fair in love and war, as they say. But yeah, you can burn these towers in like 2 volleys. Look at that. Okay, 3 volleys. Oh, 99. Come on. There it is. They got it. And now Tylus is falling back. Arverni is pursuing. That's a little bit of a mistake from... I'm just kidding. Arverni's the attacker. My bad. I was mixing up Arverni and Glacia. Glacia is falling back as well. So... yeah, now look at this. They're constantly cycling in, out forces. Now we've got, this is what I was talking about. Now we got the infantry that are going to go up on the towers. And I assume they're going to push them forward to give some space for archers to potentially put some flanking fire down on the enemy defensive position. So we'll see what happens with that. But right now we've got a juicy fight of mostly barbarians duking it out. Tylus, ooh, is this our first sighting of, yes, our first sighting of tribal warriors. This is a stud of a unit. These guys are going to be tough to defend against. They're going to have to challenge them with an equal force. That's the only way they're going to keep them back. We do have the Marauders charging in, but they need more than that. They need a lot more than that to stop Tylus. And now, check this out. Tribal warriors, I think they're trying to get into Javi range. They're trying to fire down on the enemy position from this high ground. But are they close enough? I don't think they are. Yeah, they're just, they're trying. I assume that they would push up the towers and get archers up here. I don't even, honestly, they should just send archers up here right now anyways, because most of the defending archers are kind of far away. Oh, now we got artillery coming in. Look at this. Artillery going for the very far reserves of these marauders. That just shows that they are afraid of this unit. You know, it's not the deadliest infantry, but it's certainly, they pack a punch, so the attackers don't want to have to deal with them. So they're using their artillery to try to soften them up. Unfortunately, no hits land there. It's a far away unit. They might want to save that ammo, honestly. I guess they might be afraid of the camels. The camels are moving out, guys. And this is kind of urgent for them at this point. I know patience is key, but their infantry is getting bled dry. They need some sort of support here because they're not going to be able to withstand or hold back the attackers for much longer. I mean, they could keep trickling in more and more reinforcements, but I really do believe that this is a fight that they are losing because of the superior infantry of the attackers. They've got to rely on the cav to get some work done. Here they go. We got the camels. This is a make or break moment in this battle. Look at these glorious camels. Everyone gangsta until the camels arrive. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. All right, so yeah, beautiful charge right there into all this front line. And that's going to open up possibly an opportunity for the Noble Horse to get in there and get a flanking charge or something. But let's see. They charge out, no casualties. They break the heavy horse of Arverni. They have taken no casualties, and the middle one, no casualties. Okay, no. They've taken casualties now. Okay. Well, still, only the middle unit, and you know why? Because of Javies. Javies is what did it in. But yeah, but they still have 63. They got 22 there. This one got 7 and this one got 16. These aren't unreal kills. These aren't like a lot of casualties, but it's something, and it is putting pressure on the attackers at a different position. Hopefully, you know, making it a little bit easier for this infantry to hold. It doesn't look like that's the case, though. That does not look like the case. Now, we do have Galatia getting really flirty with their cav over here. I think he's trying to try to get the artillery. Where is the artillery? Okay, it's still positioned up here. So I think he's going to probably make a move for that because there already could be a major problem. Here we go. Here comes another charge. Not great. Not a great charge. And then we got a counter charge by the attackers. Arverni sending in, is that more heavy horse? And there's another charge as well from the cataphracts, and this is not going to plan. This is not, I think they're forcing it, and I know I said they kind of have to do something, but within reason, and this just does not look like it's playing out well for the defenders. This is, okay, major reinforcement alert. The Galatians in Saba have sent forth many fresh reserves to the front line. It looks like they are not willing to give up this position. I think they like the fact that they're containing the attackers. It's just a risky play because let's not forget the attackers have the advantage of numbers and money. So this is kind of making this an equal playing ground right here. This is making this so you know, it's a glorified pitch battle. I know you think of like Thermopylae or whatever, but I feel like that's the Thermopylae type strategy only really works if you have an elite unit taking on lesser units that are, you know, they may have more numbers. I think in the long run, unless they get really artsy-fartsy here with their archers or something to try to chip away at the attackers, I just think the attackers have better infantry overall. I mean, they've got good, the Galatians are good, Saba's got decent infantry, but it does not compare to Tylus and Arverni combined. So we'll see what happens here, but right now, it doesn't look great for the defenders. The balance of power is in favor of the attackers. The camels, 42 kills, 22 kills, and the general getting 17. The Galatian general hanging back here. Keep a mental note on him to see what he's up to. But yeah, overall, with the amount of casualties they've taken in casualties inflicted, I don't think that this has been a good exchange here of cav play. So we'll see. They're still healthy, right? The camels are still healthy over there, so they still have a lot of potential. But we'll see what happens. So far, it has not been a smooth ride for them. Galatia got the Galatian swords. We got archers coming into play, which is great. I'm curious. I'm interested in seeing what happens next here with the defending archers. There it is. That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for an answer from the attackers to silence the defending archers. And these are archers and slingers. Or no, they're both... Oh, yeah, Celtic slingers. So a good play right there by the Gallic hunters. Great stuff. We're well done. And now we've got Celtic warriors holding the front. We got Tylus cycle charging in some troops. Not the greatest charge there. They got hit pretty hard by the Javies. But they're doing their thing, and they're doing all right. But I kind of love to see how patient the attackers are being with their archers. They're not desperately firing into the enemy infantry, holding back their infantry. Oh, man, you got to be careful with the cycle charging. Like, you only retreat when you have a fresh unit in there to take their place, because now they're retreating and getting hit in the back by the Javies. So that's a good look right there for the defenders. And now we've got archers moving up from the defenders that are going to try to answer back to the attacking archers. Saba, let's see. Okay, they're starting to use their ammo. Oh, nice. Hitting these Galatian swords on sword side, which is definitely going to do some damage, and they certainly are making them break. Now the archers are making a dash for this barricade, the wall, which will give them more cover compared to, you know, being outside behind the wall. So they're going to be able to, you know, squat and reload, take cover, and they're going to try to bite back, and they have pushed back the Gallic hunters, which saved this infantry from utter destruction. So good stuff right there. And yeah, the fight continues in this one narrow spot. One narrow spot. Arverni now really sending in some reinforcements. Tylus hanging in the back there, waiting for his play. And this is a battle that is extremely concentrated. This is not one of those battles that's all over the place. It's all going to be a battle of attrition. I'm kind of surprised that I don't like when players do this per se, but like, they should use their siege equipment and push on the walls. You don't necessarily have to fully like go through with it, but just try to put some sort of distraction, diversion, make the defenders spread out a little bit more. It just seems like concentrating on one area it could be disastrous. It could be, you just limit your potential of potential attack paths and spreading the defenders thin. But once again, they're setting in fresh troops into this front, constantly fighting, constantly trying to rip through the defense. And they are starting to definitely kill a lot of units. You can see that there is a lot of reserves in the back. It seems that they're not going to fully commit to this breach. I think over time, the attackers will break through here. It might be another couple minutes, unless they send in reinforcements, which it looks like they are. It looks like they are. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of Marauders. That is Saba's bread and butter right there. So we'll see if they send in those reinforcements. But yeah, now's the time to maybe push up a tower or two on this position over here near the gate, just to force them to have to hold you back over there. Keep them honest. The camel's still waiting. And let's not forget about the general of Galatia waiting. I mean, you got to feel like a little betrayed if you're a Galatian infantryman looking out in the distance and you see your general he's been sitting behind this beautiful river for most of the battle. Like, what is he doing? You know, I get it. There's a bigger plan at play here, but you got to feel a little like concerned. Like, is he standing there so if we lose, he can escape? Or is he standing there because he's going to flank? Now, of course, this is a video game. He's going to flank, you know, but still, realistically. Now we've got Galatia with the Celtic slingers up front here using the walls. And they're firing directly at the tribal warriors. I don't know if I necessarily think that's a good idea because they're going to absorb a lot of ammo and you're not going to get that great of a kill potential there. So I think it's better not to do that. Just hold fire. Just stay up there, hold fire, and wait for the opportunity to arise. That's the biggest thing with siege battles, guys, is don't force things that aren't there. There will come a time where there's an opportunity where you have a bigger kill advantage or a better opportunity to land some flanking shots, you know, something like that. So don't force a fight. Don't waste your ammo just because you feel like you have to. The infantry's holding well. The archers are zoning out the attacking archers, or they were when they were positioned up on the walls. So I think this is going better for the defenders now. This is definitely going better. So we're still at the 30-minute mark. And this is a battle of a pinpoint. A battle of a single position. And it gets grindy. It gets grindy with these types of battles. We just get a nice cinematic shot here of the struggling infantry from both sides. So, a really bloody fight. Look at this. You got the infantry up here as well. And now we got archers finally up on the plateau. Now this is going to be tough because they're going to be also easy to focus at from the defending archers. So they can definitely do some damage, but they got to be, and it looks like they're kind of, what do you call this? Kiting, not kiting, but like juking out the enemy archer shots, it looks like. But he just got a little volley there, and now he's getting out of there. Oh, they lost a couple there. So good job from the defenders keeping those guys in check. Oh, the cataphracts are moving forward. They're no longer hidden. The enemy can see them. They're starting to run out of troops to watch the rear of these forces here. I mean, they still have a lot. They still have a lot of troops. Nice little jabby throw right there from the Galatian legionaries. Now we're seeing the cream of the crop for the Galatians. It really does appear that the defenders are going all in on this position, which I love it. I really do. If that's how the attackers want to approach this, I mean, as long as you're using the archers, as long as the cav is harassing them out here, I think you have a potential of winning this. Again, it's just one of those things. Like I said earlier, the attackers have more men, they have more money, but at the same time, if they're not going to send up their archers, if they're not going to like try to support this infantry, and you're cycle charging better than them, and you got your archers chipping away at their infantry, I think you're going to win this. I think the game of attrition is in your favor. The gods of attrition. The gods of attrition. The gods of mathematics. It's in your favor. So keep it up. Keep it going. And now we've got the camels still waiting. The general back over there still waiting. And that's definitely got to be annoying for the attackers. They can't really settle in. They can't rest. They got to constantly have a mental check on those camels. So we're starting to run out of defenders over here. Oh, they call it quits, I think. Looks like the defenders are okay with initiating stage 2 of their defense, which is these 2 choke points here. This is a very choke pointy map. A very choke pointy map. Here comes infantry pouring in. They're going to try to cut... Oh, wait, no. There are Vernies pouring in. They're going to try to cut down these archers, but I assume the slingers have no ammo. What a waste. The slingers have no ammo, and they only have 48 kills. What a waste. And what's the point of charging them in like that? Your forces were going to get out of there cleanly. They weren't going to get cut down. There's no need to sacrifice these slingers like that. Because they could have gotten more kills elsewhere. They're doing it again with the spears. What are they doing? Unless they're setting up some sort of archer flank fire or something, that's not the case. They're just throwing troops into their death. You'll be surprised, guys. You really got to have the mindset of small wins and keeping as many men alive as possible. You'll never know. Even if you have a depleted unit of spears, they could find an opportunity to flank and break the enemy in the right place. All right, now we got camels rolling up. Uh-oh. They're going to try to isolate this unit of tribal warriors. We got, cav charging in. They're going to get crushed. The heavy horse is going to get crushed by the camels. Camels charge into this infantry. They form a shield wall. And I think the same thing happened up here. They formed a shield wall. Good reaction to the camels. Here we go. Here we go. Here's some dynamics to this battle. It's no longer one single fight in a choke point. But they're just charging into shield walls. They're charging into javies. This is disaster for Saba. This unit has been eliminated with 72 kills. That might sound like a lot, but the camels have a potential of getting hundreds and hundreds of kills. Now the Galatian general is closing in. Look at this. Look at this. Once again, that was a good charge. That's more like it. And a big trick to do there is to charge through the first line and then run over them to get to the next. A lot of times people don't realize that one unit is not enough to hold back the camels. But they have given up on this breach, and now, very wisely, the attackers are storming in their troops to try to prevent any unnecessary casualties to this cav that's outside and behind them. So now we begin the second stage of the battle, which is going to be more choke points. But I would say that the attackers definitely forced the defenders to hold this one position for a long time. They definitely bled a lot of their troops, but at the same time, the attackers bled a lot of their own troops attacking one single point. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens, but more and more infantry just pour it into this. That way you can just hold this one position. So that's one positive, right? And here comes the clash of infantry over in the first choke point. Marauders taking on the tribal warriors. So what I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by this infantry clash. No, I'm just kidding. There's only one small breach. So that's going to be good against the potential camel attack, because they still have cav out here. They have a general that's untouched, and they have a depleted unit and a full unit. Those are both generals too. So they want to make sure that they don't stay too far away from the battle, because they might need them soon. And now check out this next position over here, the mercenary Syrian archers. These are some nasty archers, and they've got a really good position on this little plateau of land. So they're going to be able to really harass and just devastate the infantry that are pushing forward. Thracian infantry pouring in against the marauders. And now we got our first cycle charge, but again, I think it's better to cycle charge while your initial unit's still in combat. Once the fresh unit charges in, then fall back the older unit. Because That's a little better right there by Tylus, because your backs are exposed to those Javies. When you have a unit up front, that helps a little bit with that. Oh man, Tylus. It's the Thracian infantry. It's not the tribal warriors, but still, like, this is a brutal fight. They're getting javied to death. We got Levy skirmishers with 41 kills, and I think they still have a lot of ammo left. All right, so they're pouring in most of everything. Arverni now has guard duty against the potential Cav strikes. Arverni is taking a defensive action here. So I think they're going to once again focus on one area. They're going to focus on this attack here, but Arverni is going to focus on a more, like I said, a defensive stand. If the Galatians push, they'll be ready for him. They try to flank around Tylus. So Tylus is the spearhead at this point, trying to get uphill. They are getting absolutely, this is a brutal assault, because they've got the high ground, they've got archers up there, they've got layers and layers of infantry with Javi capability. This is just gonna bleed you dry with troops. But what choice do they have? Well, they need to try to silence these archers up here. The archers they just broke. They're slaughtering the hunters of Arverni. They are slaughtering them. They have archer superiority right here. And the only thing that I think the attackers are doing is trying to get them to exhaust their ammo on their archers, which sometimes can work if you have an infantry superiority, like your infantry's better, and if you're just like, okay, you can kill my archers, just exhaust your ammo, just waste it all on my archers instead of my infantry. There's a potential there, I suppose. Now, this is a little bit of an interesting situation over here, too. The gate. Oh, the gate has not been captured yet. I wonder. Wait a minute. I wonder what's going to happen here. I was wondering if the camels could sneak through this gate and potentially charge behind Tylus. We'll see what they do. But he's splitting up his camels now. And he's going to try potentially to charge the rear of these tribal warriors. The balance of power is still in favor of the attackers, guys. I know it feels like it's not, but this is still their game to lose. And now Arverni is sending over reinforcements. Chosen Sword, Tylus tribal warriors. These are the cream of the crop of their factions. And holding them back are mercenary marauders. You know what I mean? That's the concern here. So as soon as the defenders run out of money, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. Oh, I'm sorry, money. What am I talking about? If they... as soon as... okay, you're probably thinking, what the heck are you talking about? Run out of money. As soon as the defenders run out of ammo, not money, this is gonna be a tough fight for them. So they got to be very wise with their ammo. This right here is not ideal. They're kind of wasting shots. A frontal attack on these Thracian infantry. Not super ideal, but now, oh yeah, the first... okay, they got to send in reinforcements here. There it is, but this is a depleted unit. They still have a decent number, but it's depleted. And this is a slow and steady race for the attackers. Slow and steady wins the race, as they say. Camel's still showing to be a threat on the rear. It's a small unit, but still, small units of camels can do a lot of damage. So smart of them to continue to put up their guard. And also on this side, the gate has been conquered by Arverni. So I don't think the defenders can use it anymore. And that's why this camel over here, well, they've stopped too. But I assume they're going to go up this back gate and just reinforce where they can. All right, look at this. Big push by Chosen Swordsman. This is where the killing really commences. This is where it really begins. We're down to pretty much 15 minutes left in the battle, and this is the moment of truth, guys. This is where we're gonna see some grand strategies. This is where both sides start to get a little desperate, start to pull off more riskier moves to try to win this one. Here comes some Galatian Legionaries. This is a great unit. They're definitely going to help out here. This is a fresh unit too, just now seeing the action, so they're going to hold for quite a bit. And they have Javies, all really good stuff. And here comes a cycle charge right there. They're doing their best, but every time they turn away, I almost feel like it's better to just not cycle charge in this instance, because every time you turn your back to the archers, they start firing at you. They start taking you down because your back is exposed. You're gonna lose a lot of troops there. Uh-oh. Did the camels charge? I think they did. But I think the camels went in for a last-minute charge. It didn't look like it went too well. So that is no longer a threat. There's no more camels behind them. Now that's, I see, I think it would have been smarter to just leave the camels there, to just be a potential threat, you know, but instead he charged them in. Now they don't have to worry about the rear, and they've got tireless warriors. I keep calling them tireless warriors. Tribal warriors that are free to go to the front lines. More archer fire coming down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, hitting the tribal warriors. It might even be best to just send the tribal warriors into the fight to negate the archer fire, or potentially inflict more friendly fire. We'll see what happens though. And now, oh, look at this. We might have a push from the Galatians. Oh no, Arverni's gonna countercharge. Look at this beautiful front line. So they're going for it right here. The Oathsworn, Chosen Swordsman, more Chosen. They're going all in. And guys, I think Arverni has a good chance of winning this. The Galatian Legionaries are very good, but I don't think they're better than the Chosen Swordsman. And they've got reserves in the back. They've been saving all their Chosen Swordsmen at this moment. That's awesome. And now the tribal warriors are going in. Guys, it's time. I feel like too, I assume they only have an hour to take this settlement. So I feel like time is starting to be a little bit of a pressure on them. So they realize that they have to get going. They've got to bring the fight to the defenders. Here comes another tribal warrior, and they're going to cycle charge. That's a good cycle charge. But again, they risk getting hit in the... I just think it's better to just leave them in the fight. Just leave them in the fight. Cycle charging works. It really is effective. Oh, now Tylus is coming over to help. But yeah, cycle charging is effective as long as there isn't archers bearing down on you that will just machine gun fire almost as you turn your backs to them. You don't want to do that too often. But right now the combat is even on this side. Both lines have reserves waiting to support. And now Tylus can send in the rear guard over to the front. And it's all hands on deck here. Both sides, 80% of the units are engaged in combat. More cycle charging coming in. Again, I don't really like that. Look at that. He's losing so many. Or taking damage. A beautiful struggle right here. And this is really going to decide the battle. And you know what I think, guys? What's one thing the attackers don't have that the defenders do? Cav. They have deadly Cav too. It's not just like citizen Cav. It is deadly trained professional cataphract camels and noble horse. So what I'm thinking is that this might come down to a glorious Cav charge, a hammer and anvil, a cycle charge, something like that might save the day. I could be wrong. You know, if they can contain the defending Cav, then I think they're going to be okay. But let's say the Cav's not in this fight. I think the attackers easily take this one because the infantry cannot hold on forever. What is he doing here? He's kind of falling back and setting up a new front line. I think he's afraid. Oh, I see. I think he's trying to get them more exposed to the archers, but these archers got to be out of ammo soon. One has 220 kills. The other one has 89. Oh, here we go. See, they're going to charge in, and then they're going to probably protect their flank with this unit. Yep. That's good job. Good job by the attackers, and a smart idea by the defenders. Here we go, cataphracts. They're going in. I think they're just using general abilities. Yep. What are they using? They're using rally. They're just going to keep their spirits. That's a concerning sign. Now there's another cycle charge there. Yeah, but that's a concerning sign because they're barely hanging on here. The balance of power's getting more and more in favor of the attackers. But the cataphracts are kind of like a nuke, you know, where it's like, oh, we're losing the war, but we got a nuke. And that's cataphracts. So this balance of power can be deceiving. Nice little flanking charge by Arverni. That's a huge loss right there. And now Galatians are falling back, and the attackers are gaining control. Nice little throws of the Javies as they retreat, as they fall back. And Galatia has some legionaries coming up this way, so they're going all in over here. But at the same time, they're doing damage on this front as well. Another little cycle charge there too, swapping out the units, cycling out the units. Now we've got these skirmish. They're going all in. This is crazy. We're down to the wire. Less than 10 minutes left in the battle, guys. Big break here by Arverni, but Galatia's breaking as well. We've got a little bit of a push to try to get to the secondary line. That's not going to really end well for Galatia. But here comes some Cav. Charging Tylus. Not a great charge. That is hopeful, but at the same time, the other thing that the defenders have, and we mentioned this before, but the other thing the defenders have over the attackers is that they still have skirmishers. So if they, oh, that's a great angle right there. That is a great angle. 146 kills. I think this other unit's out of ammo, but he's just kind of using them as a meat shield, I guess. There's nothing to worry about. Now we got camels charging in, cycling in and out. Cycling in and out. Trying to break, trying to crush them. Here comes Noble Horse. They're pushing up. They're also going to try to get a charge, or they're using a general ability. The balance of power is still in favor of the attackers. All they have to do is take out those cav units, and I think they win the game. They win the battle. They are struggling over here. The general, the Oathsworn, is now going in for Tylus. And we also have the Tribal Warriors, a small unit, supporting them. Back on this front, I feel like they're holding back the attackers with a small, thin unit of infantry, but the Cav is cycle charging in and out. The general already has 12 kills, so he hasn't gotten any ridiculous amount of kills. He's got to get his general out of there, though. There's a gap in the lines here. Let's see if this Chosen Sword tries to get through it. I would try to get through this gap right here and get behind the infantry, but I guess they're worried about the Cav counter flanking, or like hitting them in the back as they flank around. That might be it. And now look at them all push up this way. Look at this. Honestly, stop cycle charging. Just put your men in the fight and just hold. Stop cycle charging. Unless he's setting in oh, wait. No, what is he doing with this unit? Yeah, he's cycle charging. Just stop. Just hold your ground. Let him fight it out. You don't need a cycle charge against Levy. And now we got the general over here, Galatia, Arverni general with 204 kills and counting. He's going into the fight. He's going to break these guys. So there's a lot of units breaking from both sides. Look at this. Arverni's losing 2 units. Saba's, oh, the camels. That could have been such a deadly charge there. That could have been an insanely deadly charge, but unfortunately their own men get in the way, and it's definitely been cut down. They need to get the camels out of there and try again. More and more units. Let's see. Noble Horse charging in, trying to support the Galatian infantry. Now we've got archers. That's it. They're at the desperate point of this defense, sending in the archers with no ammo to just have extra bodies up there while the cav do the heavy lifting, or at least try to do the heavy lifting. All right, the camels have reformed. See what they do. This flank is about to fall to the attackers. Same thing over on this flank. This battle. Look at the balance of power, guys. This is not looking great. This is not looking great. Noble Horse doing everything they can. If they can kill a general, though, there's a chance. That was a nice little charge there. A little bit better of a charge with the camels. There you go. Getting some nice juicy kills there, but there's no infantry in the way to block your charge. But at the same time, you're getting cut down by all that infantry. And now we've got the Noble Horse. Come on, get the speed up. Oh, that's no charge. That is no charge. And now the Noble Horse are going to be enveloped by that infantry. Oh, no. Forward. All right, let's see if they can kill a general here and break Tylus's will. I don't know. Nice. You can't leave your general like that to take the brunt of that camel charge. You just can't. And they've got the arrow towers helping them out. I would use both my cav units to focus down the small force. At this point, they got to play a game of chipping away. That's all they can do. Chip away with their cav. The balance of power is looking terrible. Are they going to win this battle? Very doubtful, but it is possible. If they can take out a general, if they could take out both generals, there is a chance. And I don't know. I think the generals are still alive. General recently died. Okay. The general is dead for this infantry. They form a wedge or a diamond formation. Nice little charge there. Where's that noble? Oh, nice. The noble. Yeah, focus Tylus down. Oh, get out of there, Noble Horse. Get out of there. You got to get out of there. That's way too slow. That reaction is way too slow. But yeah, focus down Tylus because their general is dead. There you go. Take out the ballista crew over there. And the reason you should do it is because it's going to be more casualties that are going to add up. Okay, Saba, they are down to 16 camels, but both their generals are alive. There you go. So they just clean up the general unit. Tylus should not be leading the charge right now because their morale is hanging on by a thread. Arverni needs to be the one leading the charge. The general is potentially open to attack. Oh my gosh, what a fight this is. And this is what I mean. If you've got cav, you've got potential. They have no answer to this cav other than forming a shield wall and, you know, trying to cut them down using layers of troops. But they're going to consolidate, which is smart. You want to consolidate the forces. Tylus needs to fall back here. What are you doing? But they're using the arrow tower as well. They should try to capture the... Oh, there we go. This is what I'm talking about. You cannot leave the units isolated like this. And now the general's going to get charged on. He's been isolated. What are you doing? Oh my gosh, what a blunder. And they break the infantry over here. Wow. And now both generals... He's not dead, but he's breaking. Wow. Wow. I cannot believe they left their general to get charged like that. You got... Oh my gosh. Consolidate. Stop trickling in against camels. And there's another arrow tower over here supporting them. And yeah, Tylus is out of the game. They're pretty much out of the game. And now we've got the Noble Horse. They're going all in. They're going all in to break these guys. Amazingly, the Ballista Crew's still in it. They're going to clean them up. No. Yeah, just get them out of there. Yeah, Noble Horse needs to fall back. Oh, guys, I think they just won this game. It just depends. It's down to the wire. The camels charge into a shield wall. I got a little lag there, but they charge into a shield wall. And the nobles are breaking Arverni, guys. Oh my gosh. Don't separate your armies, and they pull out a victory through the hairs on their ass. It's over. They did it. 260 kills and 128 kills. Wait, it's not over yet. Hold on. Okay, now it's over. Well, no, hold on. Saba's breaking here. Oh, they got him. So now it's down to 2 units. They're getting pelted by this arrow tower, though. And I feel like one good charge from the Noble Horse, and it's over. They're going to go into the stone hedge here. Hopefully, does this actually block arrows? I think it does. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, it's blocking arrows. Good. So this is it, guys. The moment of truth, but the balance of power is in favor of the defenders for the first time ever. And this is actually a good spot. This is cheeky by the Arverni player to... Yeah, but it's not enough. It's not enough. And the Noble Horse take the victory. I mean, this is the definition of a costly victory. I mean, is it really a victory? Being the only, I mean, you're like 20 guys that are left standing. But wow, what a battle, down to the wire. And this shows the importance of keeping your archers alive until the end of the game. If they had archers still alive, I think they would have easily have won this battle. Even a cav unit, just to, yeah. So, and I still think they could have won even without the archers. There was a point where they could have easily, you got to like move as a unit. You could put all the depleted units into one unit and move together, and it makes it harder for the cav to chip away at your numbers because you're staying united. They should have done that. Tylus got a little antsy there. He charged forward with all his units, and he was able to just piecemeal, like, get destroyed by the camels. Let's end this replay. So this was by Lieutenant Juicy. So really good job. They both carried their weight there, obviously. Everyone did a fantastic job. Really good fighting from both sides. But yeah, this was a great fight. I enjoyed it. It started off a little slow, but the ending was amazing. So I can't believe. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Camel cataphracts, you don't mess with them. They're insane. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to all the players who took part in this. This was great fun. Hope you guys enjoyed this battle. And guys, I'll see you next time on the battlefield.